Imagine moving into your dream neighborhood, a peaceful suburb, quiet streets, a place you thought would be a fresh start. But instead of peace, you find yourself trapped under the thumb of a man who believes he owns you. He fines you for the smallest things, humiliates families in public meetings, and secretly uses your money to line his pockets. That was my life. Until I turned the tables and ended his reign forever. If you've ever wished karma would show up for a bully, smash that like button, because in this story, karma didn't just knock, it kicked the door down. When my family and I moved into our suburban neighborhood, it felt like a dream. Wide streets lined with maple trees, kids on bikes, couples walking their dogs. It felt safe. It felt right. On the day we moved in, neighbours smiled and waved. Someone even dropped off a welcome pie. I thought we had landed in paradise, but paradise had a dictator. His name was Todd, the HOA president. A man who strutted around like he was the sheriff of a Wild West town. Except instead of a badge, he had a clipboard. And instead of protecting people, he fined them into submission. The first week, I saw a family crying outside their home. Their crime? Their grass was half an inch too long. Todd had slapped them with a $300 fine. Another neighbour told me. He'd been fined $200 because his trash can was still out at 9:01 a.m., 1 minute late, at first. I laughed it off. Surely he was just strict. Surely he treated himself by the same rules. Then I saw his yard, unpermitted sheds, a massive fence taller than anything allowed, junk piled up like a junkyard. Todd wasn't strict. Todd was a hypocrite. It didn't take long for Todd to come after me. I had just finished putting up a new fence. The HOA had a rule about approved wood stains, but when I went to buy the exact brand, it was discontinued. I found the closest possible match, basically identical. But Todd showed up, smirk plastered on his face, clipboard in hand. "Wrong shade," he said flatly. I explained, showed him the receipt, even pointed out the brand was unavailable. He smiled, a smile I'll never forget. "Cold, arrogant. Rules are rules," he said, before handing me a $500 fine notice. That was the moment I knew. Todd wasn't just annoying. He was dangerous. He enjoyed humiliating people. He enjoyed control, and something in me snapped. I wasn't going to let this man dictate my life. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to destroy him. I didn't storm into meetings screaming. That's what Todd expected. Instead, I played dumb. I signed up for the HOA board, claiming I wanted to get involved in the community. Todd welcomed me with a smug pat on the back. Clearly convinced I'd be another pawn, he had no idea I was playing chess. For 2 years I attended every meeting. 2 years of nodding along, pretending to admire him, while secretly taking notes. I learned everything. How he bullied board members into silence. How he scheduled votes when his allies were present. How he lost paperwork he didn't like. How he twisted the bylaws to protect himself. It was infuriating. But I stayed patient, because I knew patience was the sharpest knife. And then I found his Achilles heel. Money. Our neighborhood fees were high. Painfully high. Friends in nearby suburbs paid half of what we did. And yet, our pool was closed most of the summer for maintenance. The playground was rusting. The landscaping was a disaster. Where was the money going? When I asked Todd for the budget during a meeting, he chuckled. "Don't worry, I've got it under control." That smirk again. But by law, homeowners had the right to see financial records. So I filed a formal request. Weeks passed. Silence. That's when I went door to door, talking to neighbours, listening to their frustrations. Turns out dozens of people had asked for the same thing. All ignored. One neighbour whispered to me, "I swear he built that new patio with HOA funds." Another said, "His kids swim at the pool when it's closed for maintenance." The pieces were falling into place. Eventually, Todd caved, reluctantly handing over a stack of financial documents. They were chaos. Receipts missing. Invoices mismatched, but I thrive in chaos. I spent nights hunched over my kitchen table, papers spread like a detective's caseboard. And what I found made my blood run cold. $15,000 for landscaping, paid to a company that didn't exist. Thousands in administrative costs, with no receipts. Bank transfers leading directly into Todd's personal accounts. It was theft. Blatant, sloppy theft. I double-checked everything, cross-referenced public records, even traced his contractor buddy, who received inflated payments, then kicked back part of the cash to Todd. The more I uncovered, the angrier I got. But also, the calmer, because now I wasn't just angry. I was armed. I could have gone straight to the police. But that would let Todd slither away, blaming misunderstandings or paperwork errors. No, I wanted his fall to be public, humiliating. Final. So I prepared. I built a 40-page report. Spreadsheets, photos, sworn neighbour statements. Bulletproof evidence, and I waited for the annual HOA meeting. Usually these meetings were pathetic, 5, maybe 6 homeowners. Todd liked it that way. Less opposition, but this time would be different. For weeks I knocked on doors. I didn't reveal everything. Just enough. Something's not right. Come to the meeting. You'll want to hear this. By the time the meeting rolled around, word had spread like wildfire. The room was packed. Every chair filled, people standing in the back, arms crossed, eyes on Todd. And Todd? He looked smug, smiling like a king addressing his loyal subjects. Todd started with his usual speech. How hard I work for this community, the sacrifices I make, the challenges of managing everything alone. I felt my fists clench. My heart pounded so loud I thought people could hear it. Finally I stood. My voice steady, though my insides were shaking. Excuse me, Todd. Can you explain some discrepancies in the budget? He blinked, then smirked. This isn't the time or place, I smiled back. Actually, Todd, it's the perfect time. I handed out packets of my report. One by one, homeowners flipped pages. Murmurs, gasps, then shouts. $15,000 for landscaping. This company doesn't even exist. Wait, did you pay yourself? The room erupted. Todd stammered, his face flushing crimson. This is taken out of context. You don't understand. I cut him off. We understand perfectly. You stole from us. For the first time, Todd's smirk vanished. His hands shook. His voice cracked as he tried to regain control, but the evidence was too strong. I called for a vote to remove him as president. Hands shot up. Nearly unanimous. Todd was done. After removing Todd, we hired an independent auditor. The results were devastating. Over $50,000 embezzled. Tens of thousands mismanaged. Fraud, theft, lies. We reported him to the police. Filed a lawsuit. Todd was dragged through court, forced to sell his house to pay restitution and legal fees. His shady contractor buddy? Blacklisted from doing business in the entire county. Todd became a laughingstock. He tried to join another HOA in a nearby town, only to be laughed out of the room when someone Googled his name. Today, our neighbourhood is thriving. The pool is open all summer. The landscaping is gorgeous. Our HOA fees? Lower than ever. Every time I walk past Todd's old house, now filled with a wonderful family, I smile. Because justice wasn't just served, it was plated, garnished and savoured. Todd thought he was untouchable, that he could bully and steal without consequence. But when a community stands together, no tyrant lasts forever. I didn't just get revenge. I gave my neighbours their home back, and that is the sweetest justice of all. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove karma is real, and sometimes it hits harder than we could ever imagine.